Hey YouTube, thanks for all the positive feedback and more reviews than I expected on my first video. I really appreciate it. That inspired me to do another video. It's about estimating where the top of a tree is going to land when you cut it, and I'm talking about distance away from the stump. Well, I think what's interesting about this video, you'll want to watch to the end, is that using that technique ended up being an insurance policy against me making a pretty expensive mistake. Okay, I'm going to try and explain this trigonometry concept. So what I've got here are two pieces of wood that are the same length. If I lay them down, that's a 90-degree angle. And if I add a third side to my triangle here, let's say this piece of wood represents a standing tree. What we've done now is created a second triangle. In this triangle, this is one side, the height of the tree is another side, and then this line that extends from the top of our small triangle out to the top of the tree is the third side of the bigger triangle. Just like these two sides were the same, this side of the bigger triangle and this side of the bigger triangle are also the same. So how can we apply that to trying to figure out where the top of a tree is going to land when you cut it down? Well, people smarter than me have figured that out, and the way you do it is for this small triangle here, you use your arm and a stick and your eyeball. This leg of the small triangle would be your arm. This leg is a stick that you're holding up and down, and then your eyeball is right here, and you sight to the top of your stick and you line it up with the top of the tree. You also sight down at the bottom of the stick and you line that up with the bottom of the tree. You would just move forward or backward until you get all of those things lined up. And right where you're standing, when you do that, after you have everything lined up, is going to be where that tree, the top of that tree, falls. How do you make sure that the stick length and your arm length are the same? That's what I'm going to demonstrate right now. My arm's out, I'm holding it, and it's just basically touching my eyeball. All I do then is hold it upright, and now I've got this part of a triangle and this part of a triangle are both the same length. I sight on the bottom of the tree that I'm going to cut, and then I line up the top of the tree by moving back and forth with the top of the stick. And when that's all done, right where you're standing is where the top of the tree is going to hit, so long as your aim is good, which is critically important. Just around the corner is a standing dead Douglas fir tree. So the question is, how far down this little road should I back my truck to be close to the tree and not have to carry the firewood a long ways versus, being safe that I don't drop the tree on my truck? Of course, I could just back the truck down after I cut the tree, but that's no fun. I back the truck down the road a little ways. Right over there, see that orange thing? That's my chainsaw. Right behind it is the tree that I'm going to cut. And I'm going to move to the side just a little bit because that's where I'm going to drop the tree, and you'll get a little better view of the top of the tree. The distance from my eye to the base of the handle is the same as the base of the handle to the top. I hold that at the base of the tree, then I look up, and I know it's hard to see because there's a bigger tree behind it. See, testing my confidence in this technique, my truck is right there, so not far away. All right, adventures in timber falling. There you see the top of the tree, basically right at my feet. Right over there on the stump is my other camera. And the reason I say adventures in timber falling, that's closer than I wanted, but it does prove that this technique works. A little post-falling analysis here. So there's the tree butt. Here's the stump. That's the direction of the fall. And this side, the wood basically completely broke because it's rotten. This tree was dead longer than I had thought. But look over here on the left side, there's this little post of good, more sound wood that held. A little bit here too. My direction of cut is basically right there. That's where I was aiming. But I think what happened is because the wood broke on that side and was holding on that side, as the tree fell, it steered to the left. It ended up going dead at my truck, but I had my truck parked just beyond where the top of the tree would have hit. You know, I was really reasonably sure that my truck was out of the distance of where the tree could hit. But it's a lesson in falling. You know, if you got a rotten stump, there's sometimes not a lot you can do to control where that tree's going to go. Just in case any of you have any doubt, I've set my saw on the stump and I've got the bar totally perpendicular to the line of my hinge. But if you extend the line of that chainsaw out, that's where the tree should have landed. As you can see from what's left of the tree, it went way off to the right.